Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm under here. I'm your yarn host, Jennifer. I have my garbage bag ready to go because I have decided I'm ready to try to process the buffalo, the wonderful, wonderful buffalo. And as you can see, there is leftover fibers on here from the last time I put stuff on this carder. I don't know how you're supposed to clean this. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I am new at carding. If I'm doing something you think is wrong, be gentle telling me. Please don't tell me I'm an idiot. I am new. I have only used this thing a handful of times. I am still new to spinning and the spinning world. One of the main things that you're going to learn is that we learn together on this channel. I'm just trying to clean up some of this purple so that it does not taint the beautiful, delicious buffalo that is going to be worked up in here. There are definitely some leftover pieces in here. We're just going to put that off to the side. One of the things that irks me and drives me crazy about this thing is when you're working with fiber that's not particularly the cleanest, a lot of dirt goes through to the bottom, and so I just move this from where it is usually housed and not have to clean off my desk because it is disgustingly grotesque. There's all kinds of like schmutz under there. Alright, it looks way worse on camera than it's looking in person. Like my camera's like, oh, there's so much purple, and it's really, it's minuscule amounts. It's less than I get when I clean my hairbrush after brushing my hair. But it's enough that you'll see the purple. See, look at that. That needs to go on the waste, not the waste bin. It's not a waste bin. It's the scrap pieces that I don't mind blending together. Alright, we're gonna grab some of this. Now, in case you missed the first episode, there's going to be several episodes of me processing this buffalo. Buffalo is ridiculously expensive. And this buffalo came in really bad shape, and I paid a lot of money for it. And we've had to clean it up a little bit, and there's all kinds of buffalo in here. There's the long staple pieces that are good for this kind of processing that will be beautiful spun up. And then there's some pieces that are very, very short. These are not. Come on, turn. See, it keeps turning this one specific focus on. So these littler pieces are better for like felting. So we're just going to process what we can. And like I said, I'm really new at this. So I don't like feeding it in here, especially when it's in this state, because it just likes to eat it. So what I'm going to do is there's a hand crank here, and I'm just going to comb it out a little bit. See, some of these pieces are just too small to spin, but it'll be fine. And I absolutely was thinking about mixing some sparkles in here, because we know, if we've watched Cinnamon Stitches, brown is not my favorite color. And I was thinking about adding specifically some coral colored sparkles, because I think coral and brown would be beautiful together. Now the whole process of this is to smooth it out and get the fibers going in the same direction so that it's easier to spin. And comb it out. It's equivalent of brushing your hair. See these extra little pieces? Those are not ever going to work in. And those are going to cause the wool to fall apart a little bit when it's spinning, which is fine. See that? That's much better. Alright. And it's just going to pick out those smaller pieces for me. See, and you can see the difference between the pieces that are a little bit longer, that comb in a little bit better. And this buffalo, when I received it, smelled real bad. It smelled of dust, like it had been stored in an open, dusty container for probably way too long. And See, there's another way you could feed it in, is this way. Like I said, doesn't always go through, and sometimes it just clogs up for me. But I'm also still learning this machine. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. There we go. Look at that. I'm just pushing it down a little bit. I don't want to make these bats too thick because that will also make it harder to spin for me. See, these extra little shorter pieces, sometimes we'll be able to get them in. Because some of these are long. See, that's long. And sometimes there's just too much fur in one spot. Alright, let's try some more. I'm going to be real honest with you, this still has like vegetal pieces in it. And I don't know how well you can see that, but there's still vegetal pieces in here that need to be combed out. I'm sure there's a couple of dog hairs here and there. That would be Bentley's hair because he just is always involved in everything I'm doing. He's currently in the room with me. But when this combs out like this, a lot of that extra stuff will fall underneath and then it lands on my desk and it looks grotesque. See, something hard in that one. Something hard in that one. Boop. Yeah, these pieces are too little. These little bits and bobs. It's like, yeah, no, we don't fit. So these little bobs will be turned into little felted buffalo. That's my plan for those. Like this. All that. And if you, I don't know if you can see how well you can see that, but there's a lot of crud down here. Even though this has been combed out once before. It has absolutely been combed out. Let's get a little more. We don't want to go too heavy with this, like I said, I don't want it to like bunch up or ball up or anything like that. So we just kind of go a little delicate with it. I was really surprised with how this turned out because when I bought it, I didn't know what I was buying. And like I said, buffalo is really ridiculously expensive, and I paid less than retail, but it's still expensive if you consider that I bought this at a thrift store situation. See? That's why I don't like doing it down here. It's wrapping the wrong one. I'd rather do it up here. It just works better. What do you guys think? Do you have an opinion on sparkles? I'm debating myself, like, part of me wants it to be as pure as possible because it's buffalo. And buffalo's expensive, and I'm thinking of the value. And sometimes we just got to get past our own head and our own stupid beliefs that, oh, but it's valuable. And like think about what we want the yarn to be. What do we want to do? Do I want to blend in other fibers? Probably not, because I want it to stay true to the buffalo as much as possible. But also like sparkles in any yarn, specifically my favorite colored sparkles. And I do believe that I have colored sparkles. And pardon me for 1 second. My bin is right here with my fibers. And the coral sparkles are right on top. Now, you're not actually, come on, turn that. I really wish I understood why it does this stupid mode every time I turn it off. Anyway, there's sparkles here. And these are a beautiful corally colored. I was thinking about you know what, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Okay, and the best way to we're just gonna lace them on there. And it's like iridescent, like pink and oh yeah, that's the buffalo of my dreams. A sparkly unicorn buffalo, right? It's so pretty. All right, you talked me into it. I heard you. Just add sparkle. And you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. All right. Sparkle. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And then I'm going to put some on top just to lock it in. Just to lock it in. Just to make sure that the sparkles is in the fibers. Layered in there a little bit. Oop. And this did come with clamps to clamp it to my table, and of course I didn't use them because I don't follow the rules. Oh, that is pretty. I love it. Do you love it? All right, now where's my thing? Because there's a thing to pull this out. It looks like a barbecue skewer almost. What did I do with it? Where is it? There, it's under here with all of the dirt. All right, now to get this off, we just do this. Just pull it up. And the first time I used this thing, I made the mistake of making this bat. This is called a bat. Way ridiculously too thick. And we're not going to do that anymore. I'm trying to remember because there's a way to pull it off. Like one side pulls off better than the other. I think it's this way. And I think that perhaps I could have made this a little thicker. I want to roll it this way so you see the sparkles. And as you can tell, I'm leaving a lot behind, apparently. Alright, now that is ready to be spun. Now let's make another one, shall we? Throw some more in. I have over a pound of this fur. So, I don't know, let's try that again because apparently my battery died. Like I was saying, is I have well over a pound of this. I slid it over and the handle was getting stuck just a little bit. Now, to some, I already know this job is going to be tedious. I've had a couple people say, I don't know why you would ever want to have sheep or goats because it's so much work and you don't understand how much work it is. I absolutely understand how much work it is. You see that? It's like, no, I got this. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to eat it for you. Apparently, it just wanted to eat it for me. So, there you have it, folks. It fed itself. Little pieces. Go over there. I find this whole thing relaxing and soothing. the whole process to me is just, I love it. I enjoy it. I don't have to think so much. I'm not doing it for anyone else besides myself. And I think that's part of the reason that I don't find this at all tedious. Does it take me a long time to make yarn? Absolutely. But I am making yarn that nobody else in the entire world has. Yeah, there's people who have buffalo, okay? They're not going to spin it the way I spin it. They're not going to put these weird pink sparkles in here like I did. They're probably actually do a better job at putting it on the drum carder than I'm doing. But, I mean, I just like the whole process. I feel very connected to spinning. I feel connected to the art. I feel connected to history, which I know probably sounds weird. But like the whole thing, I just enjoy it from start to finish. I was talking to Mr. Cinnamon about this the other day. Like, there's so much to it. And yeah, it's a lot of work. It's absolutely a lot of work. Some of it is very strenuous and sometimes painful work. But I think we just have to not take for granted the true artisans that do this kind of stuff for a living. The amount of love and work that goes into creating yarn. And you know, yarn is so widely available to us. It's at every store well, not anymore, but it's an easy to access thing. It's mass produced. So we tend to take fiber arts for granted because it is so easily accessible to most of us, because it is so mass produced. And let's face it, you can find really, really cheap acrylics for like $1 a ball at most places. I mean, most countries in the world, okay? Like, you can't, it's just, I'm missing spots. Missing spots. See, this feels like it's the shorter fiber stuff, so I'm not even gonna play with that. You can tell by the way it is in, and this is all in the garbage bag, okay? There's bits that look like this, so it's fat on one end and thinner. I all processed this with a small board. So this was very tedious to work up all of this. But you can see, like, this has the longer strands, whereas the stuff which is the smaller strands usually looks like balled up hair after somebody got their hair cut at the barber. That's what it looks like. And I know, because I used to work at a haircutting place. Cinnamon Stitches, have you had every job? I absolutely have had every job. I did whatever it took to earn a living. And some of the jobs were really cruddy. But I think that's the reason why I don't mind putting the hard work in and doing this kind of project. And if you watch the other video, I did show me processing the buffalo. I showed how I turned it from dirty, gross yarn, and I got it smelling pretty. And now we're doing the next step, and we're lining up the fibers so that we can spin it in the next step, which I fully intend on doing sooner rather than later, because I want to work with this yarn. Buffalo, I've said it 100 times in this video already, buffalo's expensive. This was graciously gifted to me. This is 50 grams of buffalo. This retails for $65, to put that into perspective. Yeah, so we don't want to waste any of it. We want to clean it up as best we can. We want to put it into a project. I'm thinking a shawl. I'm definitely thinking a shawl, especially with the sparkles that you can't really see right now. We'll put a little more in. I have watched videos where it's just ASMR, and they literally just, they do this to like silence. Sometimes they do this to music. And I find watching these videos relaxing, because a lot of those ladies, they have the automated ones where just, you know, you plug it in and it goes. Cinnamon Stitches has to hand crank, so there we go. All right, one more little fluff bits to lock in the glitter. Just a little bit. Now, I know that some of you have gone to fairs and county things and like 4-H, and you've probably seen some of these processes done. But I'm curious to how many of you have never seen anybody do this kind of art. That's what I'm curious about. Alright, we're going to pull this one off. Because if we make this too thick, this bends, which, ask me how I know. So. I hate how much is being left behind. No buffalo left behind. Dang it, I picked up the purple. See, there's a little bit of fiber, not fiber, plant life there. Keep dropping it on the floor. All right, that's good enough. One day my bats are going to look beautiful and all perfect, and today ain't the day. As long as we get those fibers all kind of going in the same direction and we can spin them. I don't know if you can see. Well, zoom you in. How dirty this is. Like, it's pretty gross. And all right, you guys want to see one more go? Give it one more go. See this again. This is small fibers, and I can tell just by the way it's in the small fibers. And that will felt up beautifully. Whereas they look more like paddles when it's the better fibers. You know what? Let's feed some in. We'll see what happens. I gotta get used to it at some point, right? Go as flat as possible. We don't want it to get jammed up in there. We don't want to add too much fiber at once. Little fuzzball. Some little fiber pieces. whole bunch missing right there. I also want to suggest don't ever do this with long sleeves because you could very easily get tangled in there. And just like it is pulling the yarn through, it could pull your sleeve through and you could be trapped. But also this isn't mechanical, it's not, doesn't plug in or any of that, so the risks are pretty low because you can literally just stop spinning it with your hand. Stop cranking at it. You know what, let's put some sparkles in. Time for the sparkles. We may have to comb it a little bit because it's not grabbing it. Oh, it grabbed the yarn I sat right there. Oh, come on, are you not? That's too thick. Too thick. Sparkly buffalo, one of a kind yarn. Trying to debate what color I wanted to mix in with this because purple goes good with brown, pink goes good with brown. I was thinking like coral is my favorite color. Buffalo is one of my favorite animals. And I just thought it would be really pretty. It would go really well together. What do you guys think? Can you see how sparkly that is? It's so pretty. So pretty. Alright, well, this is I think this is video 2 of processing buffalo. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them, but like I said, I'm new at this. I'm learning, and I'm sure that I'm doing some things wrong. I'm quite positive of that, and I'm okay with that. Because just like when I learned how to spin for the first time, I encouraged all of you guys to try, and I told you that it's okay because like my first yarn looked terrible, and I was still so proud of it because it's something I wanted to do for a very long time, and I did. I accomplished it. I mean, here, go in there. Now, I don't know how much this drum carder cost. I didn't purchase it. Mr. Cinnamon bought this as a Christmas gift for me. I know that they're expensive. He bought the cheapest one he could find online, which came all the way from Australia. And it does the job, and I'm very happy with it. So, next step, the next video will be us spinning up this beautiful fiber and showing you what it looks like when it's all spun up, and hopefully you can see how beautiful the pink is. Thank you so much for watching this buffalo processing. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, see, you can't even see like how the fluff is right here. You gotta yank it. Gotta yank it. That made me think of my aunt when I was a little girl. My aunt was not so very nice. She was very demanding, and I don't know. Her favorite thing to say to my cousin was, "I'm gonna rip your hair out." And her favorite thing to do when she was angry was to grab you by the head of the hair. Ah, yes. Generational trauma, folks, at its finest. That's what that reminded me of, was grabbing somebody by the head of the hair. Which I don't suggest doing. I think that's very mean. She was not my favorite aunt growing up. At all. She's not like that anymore. She was mean to us when we were little. She was very, very angry. So I'm going to peel this off and then we're going to end the video. I do thank you for tuning in and watching me fumble with this. And not judging me too harshly. And look at how much I left behind. That's terrible. It's fine. It's fine. It'll just go in the next bat. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.